Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Game in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. The livestock industry is huge in the United States, and many producers are active in the industry in our state. Cattle producers flocked from all areas of Kansas to attend the 2014 annual KLA convention, where topics included nutrition, saturated fats, cattle markets, and retail sales. Several speakers attended the conference to express to cattle producers the issues that are facing the industry.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Game in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. The annual KLA convention was held December 3rd through the 5th in Wichita, Kansas. Take a look.
I was invited to the KLA convention to talk about my book and my findings, which are on saturated fat and how it turns out that that fat, which is in butter, meat, cheese, dairy, eggs, is not bad for health.
Farmers and ranchers from all across Kansas gathered in early December to attend the annual Kansas Livestock Association convention, where topics included nutrition, saturated fats, cattle markets, and retail sales. The event kicked off Wednesday with the author of The Big Fat Surprise, Why Butter, Meat, and Cheese Belong in a Healthy Diet.
So the idea that saturated fats are bad for health really goes back to one scientist, a pathologist named Ansel Keys at the University of Minnesota. And in the 1950s, when America was in a panic about the rising tide of heart disease, he proposed that what caused heart disease was saturated fats. Saturated fats would cause your blood cholesterol to go up, clog your arteries, and give you a heart attack. It turns out that this idea was based on really very little research. He did a giant study called the 7-country study where he seemed to find that saturated fats cause heart disease, but it turns out that there were all kinds of problems with that study. He cherry-picked his countries. He chose only those countries that he knew would confirm his hypothesis and didn't choose countries like Germany, France, Switzerland, where they ate a lot of saturated fats but didn't get heart disease, and he excluded those countries. It's also true that he sampled some of his populations during Lent when they were conscientiously avoiding meat, cheese, butter, dairy, eggs. But that study, the 7-country study, became the linchpin of our nutrition recommendations, starting with the very first dietary advice to avoid saturated fats in 1961, issued by the American Heart Association.
Nina, along with researchers, have found that there is absolutely no association between saturated fat and the risk of heart disease. And saturated fats, like those found in red meats, can actually lower a person's risk of stroke.
So, as an investigative journalist, I really wanted to get to the bottom of the question of what could we believe about our nutrition science, especially about saturated fats. And that led me on a 9-year journey of researching and reading pretty much every nutritional study that had ever been out there, thousands of studies. My book has thousands of footnotes. I really felt like in order to understand the science and make an argument on the science, I needed to understand it fully.
Misconceptions have hurt the meat industry for years, and now things are starting to change.
My findings are interesting to the cattle producers because their product, meat, has been vilified for 50 years based only on the idea that meat contains saturated fats, and saturated fats are supposed to cause heart disease. My book argues that saturated fats have been unfairly vilified and do not cause heart disease, meaning there is really nothing wrong with eating meat, and it turns out that meat is a very nutritious food. So it's relevant to this community.
Her keynote address was focused on the possible unintended consequences of Americans being told to cut back on saturated fats for more than 40 years.
You know, my hope is that my book will be read and will help to continue changing the nutrition conversation. It's really important that we have national dietary guidelines that best reflect the existing science. The science has changed on saturated fats, and I believe it's important for our national nutritional guidelines to reflect that. Right now, the expert committee is sort of wrapping up its work for the 2015 dietary guidelines, and I think those are basically a done deal. But I'm going to continue doing the journalism that I'm doing, kind of rigorous scientific work, and hopefully I think we can see change by 2020 dietary guidelines.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment is brought to you by Central National Bank. Put our ag professionals to work for you.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Game in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. The annual KLA convention was held December 3rd through the 5th in Wichita, Kansas. Take a look. An important topic at the meeting was the Beef Checkoff research. The Beef Checkoff program is a producer-funded marketing and research program designed to increase domestic and/or international demand for beef.
You know, one of the messages that was shared at the Kansas convention is that there is new science emerging around the role of saturated fat, and more scientists are debating, you know, what is that right mix of carbohydrates and fat and protein? And the Checkoff, through their nutrition research program, has been instrumental in supporting some of that research. Actually, some of that research has been incorporated into a really popular book that's out that's calling into question the role of saturated fat. It's called The Big Fat Surprise, and that speaker was here presenting as well. And what the Checkoff's role is to do is to make that science available. We're not only conducting nutrition research, but we're making sure that it gets out of the labs and out of the scientific journals and into the hands of health professionals and dietitians and consumers so that they can use that information as they're making healthier choices about beef.
The fundamental goal of every Checkoff program is to increase commodity demand, thereby increasing the potential long-term economic growth of all sectors of the industry.
One of the aspects of the Checkoff Nutrition Research Program that makes it very credible research is that we identify the world's leading scientists to conduct this research. And that's so important in having the research be seen as credible and accepted by the scientific community. So when we're supporting research, we conduct it with the top nutrition researchers, and we make sure it's very high quality science. That's the first step. But the Checkoff research is only a piece of the puzzle. And what's important and what happens then is we plant the seeds with new research, but then other researchers then try to repeat that research or validate it, or more science is built into that piece of the equation, and that also helps give credibility. So we kind of are a starting place to get new thinking about beef and maybe contribute a piece of the evidence, but it's the whole body of evidence that's looked at by science. So we play an important role in that way.
BeefResearch.org is leading the way for communication between producers and consumers.
So nutrition research is a really big topic, and there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that are being supported through Checkoff research dollars. And a great place to get up to speed on this information is to check out beefresearch.org. It's the website that really highlights the work that you're doing not only in nutrition research, but in safety research and product research and sustainability research, to understand what are the research questions that the Checkoff is addressing, and then how are we using that information to make sure that it's in the hands of those thought leaders, those dietitians and physicians, as they're thinking about recommendations in the future.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand ag professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank. Money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need. This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Game in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. Friona Industries President and Chief Executive Officer James Herring spoke recently at the KLA convention.
Well, my name is James Herring. I'm the President and CEO of Friona Industries LP. Our headquarters is in Amarillo, Texas. We are 300,000 head cattle feeding operation. We're the third largest in the world. We produce about 780,000 cattle annually for a branded product scheme that goes into Cargill, our production partner.
James spoke about the many problems and opportunities facing the beef industry.
Of course, we have challenges. One of the challenges is maintaining full capacity utilization in our feed yards with a declining inventory here in the United States of feeder cattle and calves. The drought has severely restricted cow-calf operations around the country, and that's reduced the number of cattle that are coming through feedlot systems. So we have to aggressively compete for those cattle to come through our system. That's a major challenge for us on a daily basis, and it will be a challenge in 2015 as well.
The bottom line is that treating disease, along with all production factors, has become increasingly costly in the feed yard.
As to diseases in a commercial feed yard setting, one of the things that we've seen in the last 5 years is we're continually reaching back deeper into the cow-calf and stocker arena to get lighter and lighter cattle to fill the capacity that we have in our feeding operation. When we do that, those young calves are naive, and we have a lot of health problems with that whole aspect of the cattle feeding business. So this is just the nature of the beast as we know it today. We have to reach back in the system to get the amount of cattle that we need to fulfill our branded product promise to consumers. And when we do that, we challenge the health of any animal. I know it's going on all over the industry because we see benchmarks that relate us to all parts of the country, and this is a significant issue for the cattle feeding business. We try to combat that animal health issue by having suppliers downstream that will precondition and wean an animal more appropriately in a more appropriate setting than a big commercial feeding operation. So we have divided the U.S. into 6 regions of the country, and we have selected suppliers and selected backgrounders in those sections that will hopefully take that little calf and create a yearling out of him for our use and do it in a more a more pleasant environment and a safer environment for the animal.
Friona Industries is based on the corn market, and without GMO advances, they would have trouble with their operation today.
Well, I think that as far as GMO products in the feeding operation and GMO corn, of course we use a corn-based diet. A lot of the byproducts that we use come from manufacturing of corn in some way, such as ethanol or others, or sweetener. So we're based on the corn market. If we were not allowed to use the products created by the scientific advantage of GMO, we would have great issue with that. That would be a huge cost problem for the industry across the United States, and create a disintermediation in the feedlot business. We'd have trouble buying feedstuffs that didn't have GMO on it. We're high supporters of technology and scientific technology in the cattle feeding business, and that would be devastating.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from Doc Talk. If you miss us on Monday morning, you can join us at 6:30 a.m. every Sunday morning on RFD TV. Doc Talk has a national following. We're sure glad that you joined us on Mondays, but if you miss us and you want to catch us out on a Sunday morning, get up at 6:30 a.m. and we'll be right there, RFD TV, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll see you down the road.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by SureCrop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. The annual KLA convention was held December 3rd through the 5th in Wichita, Kansas. Take a look.
So today I was invited to the 102nd KLA convention to speak alongside Kim Stackhouse. And KLA asked us to come speak today about sustainability and the research that's going on in the beef industry and how sustainability is an emerging business topic for this industry. On behalf of Walmart, we're really happy to be here today and appreciate the invitation. As a retailer, we're actually the world's largest grocer. The U.S. is by far our biggest market, our largest customer base. And while we're privileged to serve those customers every week, we also have the opportunity to hear from them. And we understand that our customers' expectations are changing. And as an industry, we have to figure out how to serve them. And they are still asking for that same great quality. They want that same great quality and taste in their beef. And they also want affordable prices. But on top of that, they're asking for increased transparency and trust and assurance from the food industry, from the beef industry, but really across all of grocery. And what that means for us as a retailer working with the beef industry is that we have an opportunity to increase the transparency in our industry and amongst the different segments leading up to the final stage when we serve the customer together. And greater information exchange between the segments of our industry will really enable us at Walmart to engage our customers in that information that they're looking for and make sure that they continue to have great trust and confidence in the beef they're buying from Walmart and the beef industry in general. And we share the same interests that KLA has and the beef industry broadly, and we want to sell more beef. And we want to continue to respond to our customers' needs as those change. And so we really appreciate the work that NCBA has been doing and Kim Stackhouse to start to lead research in the industry to understand, specifically on the topic of sustainability, what we can do as an industry on topics like greenhouse gases, water quality, continued efficiency and productivity improvements, animal welfare, and ethical and value-based issues that, frankly, our customers want to know more about. And they don't, a busy mom in a Walmart doesn't have the time to sift through a bunch of information on these topics at the point of sale and point of purchase, but they're coming into Walmart and they want to have the assurance and trust in every product that they buy that we're working with the industry on behalf of the customer to bring them a product that meets their values and meets the kind of responsible and ethical requirements that they'd expect from us. And we certainly know that the beef industry has been a sustainable industry over time and definitely passed on great practices and learnings from generation to generation. At Walmart, we do believe that sustainability is a continuous improvement journey. And frankly, we never cross the finish line. And it's something that we have to continue to challenge ourselves on. How can we continue to do things better and better and innovate and adopt new technologies? And really importantly, that point I want to emphasize is it's not just about continuous improvement. It's about how we share that information in our value chain so that at the end of the day, we can take it to our customer and they can feel good about the beef that they're buying. Just as an example, I've had a number of opportunities to visit some great operations here in Kansas and other states. And the stories that I hear and the lessons I take away are fantastic. But if you think about serving 300 million customers a week, it's really hard for us to take those one-off stories and engage our customer in a meaningful way. And so we really need the industry to work together to figure out how we consistently and in more common and standardized ways share all of those different stories so that any steak or any piece of beef that a Walmart customer is buying from us or any other retailer, they know that this industry as a whole is really taking these issues seriously and doing the right thing on behalf of the customer. So again, we really appreciate the opportunity to be here, really value the work that NCBA is doing, and appreciate the time to be here in Kansas.
Thank you for watching this episode of Farm Factor on Ag Aim in Kansas. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this program again, visit us on www.agaiminkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. So have a good day and good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.